What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone is having a great rest of their evening so far. We got a very special guest, the premier headlining recruit for the class of 2022, Jacurri Brown. Welcome to the Scoop on the U, man. It truly is a pleasure. I think we lost Jacurri.
Yeah, we had him on just a second there.
All right. Well, while we're working things on backstage,
Oh,
Ross. Oh, there he is. What's up, Jacurri? I think his connection. What's up, Jacurri? How's it going, man?
I
I
can't
think his
really hear.
connection's frozen. Oh, okay. But anyways, while Jacurri's getting that figured out, Ross, I mean, talk about Jacurri as a quarterback because I know you've been breaking down a lot of his play.
I mean, the ultimate dual threat quarterback, a physical freak in some ways. You don't often see guys as big as him at the quarterback position move like he does and operate with the strength that he has. I mean, we're talking about an extremely, extremely strong young quarterback. And I mean, that leg talent alone makes him just so exciting to watch.
Absolutely. Jacurri, welcome
Yes,
to the
sir.
show, man. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Yes,
How's
sir.
it going down at Lowndes High School, working out this off season?
Pretty good. We're grinding, ready to start this journey to chasing the ring. Last year, got to go out with a bang.
Absolutely. Jacurri, what are you working on this off season to get better, to bring home a state title?
Just stepping up and being a leader, and my consistency as a passer, and really just taking on that role as a complete leader because I'm a senior, and I mean, I've been starting since a freshman. I mean, a lot of guys have been depending on me, but this is my senior year, so I mean, it's gotta be my team. I gotta step into that role and pretty much produce a lot.
Jacurri, right from the jump here, let our fans know what kind of player are you? What are the Miami Hurricanes getting in Jacurri Brown?
They're getting a winner. They're getting the biggest competitor, the most dynamic quarterback in my class, a fun, outgoing guy. Just the guy that you want to be representing the program and represent somebody's family. Just a good guy that's been raised really good and just really just cultured in many type of ways and just really ready to just get to work and give my all in everything I do.
Sounds great, man. I love hearing that. Are you working with any specific trainers this offseason to help you in football at all?
Coach Ville and that Paradise Camp is like the week right before Elite 11, so I'm gonna get some work in with Coach Red before I go. He's gonna tune me up.
Jacurri, how's your relationship with Rhett Lashley? And, first time you met him, kind of go over that you bond you made with him. And how did you know Miami was the right choice and it was going to be home for you for the next 3 to 4 years?
Well, I kind of I guess acknowledged him when he was at SMU.
Yep.
Right. And I kind of went on with that because I mean they were like a Cinderella story. Like they were doing really good. They were the most best offense and you know what I'm saying, and college football, right? And
Yeah.
then he went to Miami, and then I got the offer, and then it was really me and Coach Johnson, we were kind of going back from Florida, but then Coach Johnson left, and Coach Lashley had already been on my butt the whole time, but I was kind of playing off. I was like, okay, I'm cool with Coach Johnson, but then that happened, and then we kind of just clicked on a different level than even than me and Coach Johnson did. So I mean, he just took another step, came at me a different way, kind of talked to my parents more, you know what I'm saying, and so I mean, relationships are a big thing for me. So that relationship with him, and then added in Coach Diaz and stuff like that. So I mean, just him as a coach is just unbelievable. He is a brainiac.
How do you think your skill set as a quarterback fits into Rhett Lashley's offense?
Oh, I mean, just his experience with quarterbacks like me, Brandon Marshall and Cam Newton and stuff like that at Auburn. Just a lot of those things that like buy into that. Just he wants a guy that can move, also a guy that can work inside the pocket. But like when a play breaks down, he just wants somebody who can go out there and make a play and lead the team. And I mean, I'm that guy.
Jacurri, how long have you been playing the sport of football now?
Years I probably couldn't put in the math, but I've been playing since I ever got into school. So like third grade, like 3 years old, I was probably playing, but I wasn't like playing for real. But like I knew what like football was. I knew what I wanted to do.
How long have you been the varsity quarterback for your high school team?
Going on 4 years.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Pretty impressive.
Yes, sir.
Being a high school quarterback at a major program where you're at, I think it teaches you a lot and you gain a lot of characteristics from that role. What have you learned from being, the spotlight player down at Lowndes High School and leading your, high school football program to success?
I learned to have a bad memory. You know what I'm saying? Like you just have like a bad play or something like that and just get over it. Yep. I mean, just I've been doing it like playing football my whole life. So I mean, and then like our stadium is like huge, and it's like really packed out. So I mean, just hearing all the crowd and stuff like that, and being the guy to get the team hype and stuff like that. I mean, just really stepping into that role, like you said, preparing me for like the next level and stuff like that. So I mean, just that and just like my determination and like my like just everything, just putting in like for the team and stuff like that. Like I'm a team player for sure. So I mean, just like doing that for my team, and like you said, like us being like a high like title school. I mean, like a lot of guys are gonna take shots, and me being a talented quarterback. I mean, a lot of guys gonna take shots at me. So I mean, I'm more of a like, hey, yo, good tackle, yada yada yada. You know what I mean? Like I ain't more of like a trash talker unless you're doing too much. So like, yeah, so like just carrying myself on and off the field and doing stuff like that. That's really helped me out. Cause I mean, down here. I mean, it's not a big city, but like everybody, like if I like walk into some place, like they're gonna know like who I am. So I kind of act the way I gotta represent my team, my family, and everybody like everywhere I go.
You mentioned a lot of great characteristics. All eyes are on you. You're the star quarterback down at Lowndes High School. You have to have a very high character on and off the field. If you mess up, move on to the next play. You got to be mentally strong. You can't, hear the outside noise. Who did you model kind of this, who did you model kind of any NFL quarterbacks that you looked up to that kind of has these characteristics or traits?
Just I would like to say a quarterback that like blocks out all the trash talk. It's like Cam Newton. Cam Newton takes a lot.
He does.
Takes a lot. he takes on a lot. He gives a lot too, though.
Yeah, true.
He is another. I mean, him, Lamar, like watching that draft with Lamar and like seeing him and his mom just sitting there, and then like first thing he says, "You're getting a Super Bowl out of me." I mean, going like you ain't even get drafted first round or anything like that. Like a guy that just go and be like, "Yo, you're gonna get a Super Bowl out of me," and I believe they will. And I mean, he's a grinder, and I mean, like a lot of quarterbacks like me, you know what I'm saying? Like a young like black quarterback, they're always gonna put like that label of like he can't throw, he's just more athletic, he can play somewhere else, yada yada yada. So I mean, a lot of quarterbacks across the country, like Justin Fields, I mean, they're just saying like that guy like was dedicated, but they were trying to add in like stuff for like he don't really want to play, yada yada yada. He has off field things, but I mean, I met him. I've had a conversation with the guy. Like he's all dedicated. I mean, like with the Bears, they're getting a really good guy, a really good quarterback. So I mean, just a group of those guys like Justin Fields, Jalen Hurts, guys that just took that heat for just being more athletic. Like you can't get mad at me for being athletic. I mean, like I'm gonna go make a play. I'm scoring. We winning games. Like don't come with me like that. Like it's a new age of quarterbacks. I mean, you ain't just gonna get a guy. I mean, don't get me wrong. Tom Brady's the GOAT, but I mean, it's time to move. Like you got to move around. You got to be off platform. You got to make plays for your team. You just gotta be that guy in all aspects.
Jacurri, what makes Georgia high school football special? What is that vibe like on game day? What's that feeling like for you?
Just knowing that like where I'm from, like South Georgia, like North Georgia and South Georgia football are two different things.
Really?
Like South Georgia, like we hit every day at practice. We like I'm like, yo, take the green jersey off, but like they don't do it. But like I'm like talking to like deep players, like we actually get it out in the mud down here. Like we ain't got no indoors. We ain't got everybody transferring to school. Like we play with our guys, the guys that I've been in school with since elementary school. We're family down here. Like we're like really like bred to just win and just be a Viking. Like it's hard to be a Viking. I ain't gonna lie, but I mean it ain't that for everybody. You know what I mean? So just it's just different down here. Like it's just a different breed from us or just like Colquitt County or anybody like that. Like anybody from down here that like goes deep in state, like the whole South Georgia supporting them because we're together. Like I said, it's just different football because they don't really recruit down here like that. Like it goes like maybe like the bottom of Atlanta, then they stop. You know what I mean? So like you really got to be that guy to like get recruited. So like it really just puts a chip on everybody's shoulder. Like down here, that's like really like we got talented guys, but like they don't got O's because like people don't recruit down here. So you're gonna find a gym down in South Georgia regardless.
What is the Winterville Classic all about? That's something that I've heard is a really, really special event in Georgia. Let our fans know what that really is all about.
It's like probably the biggest like rivalry like people that live in the same town can have. It's like a civil war kind of, but it's only on that week. Like I kid you not, I've heard probably the most like the most like craziest stuff during that week, and then after that, it's like, yeah, man, Lounge will win state this year, yada yada. But like from Valdosta fans, like when they get out of the playoffs, it's all Lounge. You know what I mean? So like it's more like the younger kids, like the people that are playing there, like we don't treat it like that. Like it ain't like more like a rivalry. Like we know these guys, like we grew up each other. But the old heads here, they are legit about it. Like they don't even like who. You don't even like. I can't even like wear like yellow around my grandparents because like they went to Lounge and like they ain't even like they're not here anymore. Like it's way too deep, way too deep. But it's a good like I said, Wintersville Classic. Both of us, but Austin and Lounge are like two good like programs, two like highly talented programs, nationally known. So like it's a lot of talent down here. Like I said, South Georgia. So it's really just a big showcase of like our talent, and like they did that with the ESPN thing this year. There's a lot of talent in that game. So just that whole thing just gives us like something to like be proud of, to be like we play in the Wintersville Classic. Like your rivalry isn't as big as our rivalry, even though like win or lose, like we did that. This is like Wintersville, like the city. Like either way it goes, like we show pride just being from here.
You know what's interesting? There's two other players on the Miami Hurricanes roster who, was a part of South Georgia football between those two high schools. Thomas Davis, your teammate. Mm-hmm. I want to go over that relationship you have with him. And Jake Garcia was there for a short period of time. Mm-hmm. I wanted to see, are you close to any of – I know Thomas Davis, obviously your teammate. Have you spoken to Jake Garcia as well?
Absolutely, yeah. Like I have his number. Like we text like throughout. Like he texts me a congrats. And I hit him up after the spring game and told him he showed out. He showed his ass. Like he did a really good game.
Yeah, he did well.
Yeah, he did really well. So just really just keeping up with those guys and just supporting them. And they just kind of like give me the scoop on things. Like when I go down there, like we're probably gonna spend some time. And like I said, I'm gonna be back for that Paradise Camp too. So like I'm gonna just be around. And I wish I could make the June 1st cookout. But like making trips to Atlanta from here ain't just like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta have that money, but those guys are like really great. Those are really good guys. And I'm getting close to like other guys like Brinson, Ramilo Brinson.
Yeah.
The receiver just came in, him, Kamar Kitchens.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a lot of those guys. When I went down there the week before I committed, just met some guys. I kind of blended in well, honestly. Like they didn't even know. Like they was like, "Who are you?" And I was like, and I was like, "Oh, you're not even in college, bro." I'm like, "Yeah, no, man, I'm a junior."
How are you doing in the weight room? Are you maxing out on the bench press? Mm-hmm. What are your measurements there on the squat? Are you deadlifting? Would love to hear because you're very advanced physically for your age, in my opinion.
Yes, sir.
Which is
actually
great.
I got a milestone. I squatted 405. Yeah, we
wow.
max last week. I squatted 405. I benched 265, and I power clean 295. But we on deadlift.
Okay, interesting. Interesting. Okay, very cool.
Yeah, and I'm weighing like 210 on a solid day. I need to be like 225 when I leave here, going up to Miami. You know what I'm saying? So it's there.
Absolutely.
6'4", 6'5", just eating, growing kid.
I told someone, because you're running a 4.5, 4.6 right now on your 40.
Yes, sir.
I said, if we put him in Coach Feely's strength and conditioning program, Jacurri is such of a great athlete. He can hit that 4.3, 4.4 mark. I believe in you, man. I think you're that great of an athlete.
Yes, sir.
We just recently got a commit, and it's going to be a guy you're going to be familiar with, Quan Lee. You guys have spent some time together, and you got a history together. Let the Canes fan base know what kind of wide receiver we're getting in Quan Lee.
You're getting a dog, man. Just a guy that's not shy to show what he's got and talk his junk. I mean, just a real confident guy. That's what you need. You need a guy with confident hands. A guy that just know, like, anybody who's going to line up in front of him, like, you can't guard me. Like, he literally went back and forth with Travis. Like, on Twitter, just going back, like, you can't guard me. But, like, I respect that. Like, he's a hard worker. He has, like, a really good mentality. I mean, he's been raised the right way. And, I mean, he's the guy that, like, he's going to, like, represent the Miami, like, the right way.
The staff right now, we're looking for a lot of speed and a lot of height and length at wide receiver. Do you have a specific receiver or maybe even a tight end that you would love to see play for Miami with you?
My boy Gibson, Jalen Gibson.
Yeah, Jaden Gibson.
Winter Springs, and Skinner.
Yep.
My guy Skinner. Yeah, both of those guys are really, really guys I really want. And a really dark horse is I want to say his last name right. It's like Ibetta.
Landon.
Yeah. He's out of LA. Yeah, him too. And Isaiah Horton. He's like #1 receiver in Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of those guys. Like, yeah, I think most of them are coming that weekend, except Ibetta is coming the next weekend. But I'm gonna be at that Paradise Camp when Jalen's there. Skinner. So yeah, we're gonna close some deals. Yeah.
Okay. Is that has been something like the staff has, spoken to you about, like, hey, come on, network with us. Let's, try to reel in some players you'd like to play with at the next level?
Absolutely, because I feel like we're building this class strategically, like with me just being like the quarterback that just don't want to commit for a little bit, and then you got a receiver. So I mean, pretty much right now, I feel like we need to add like Wesley Basithane or like Kamar or that guy that's gonna be that defensive leader. You know what I'm saying? That we can like counteract with, and then just like make a plan with that and stuff like that. But I know that like we're not taking a huge class because of like last year's class was dope. Last year's class was really, really good. So I don't think we're taking a huge class, but we're gonna get some dogs for sure.
Love to hear it.
Yeah.
Jacurri, I got to ask you, do you guys get into arguments with other players on the team about South Florida football and South Georgia football and the level of competition and talent?
Sir?
Do you Oh, yeah, no worries. Do you ever get in arguments with players on Miami, your future teammates, or, anyone from the South Florida area that you're speaking with regarding, comparing South Georgia football to South Florida football and the level of talent and competition?
Like from South Georgia and South Florida?
Yeah, comparison.
Yeah, absolutely.
Competing wise.
I'm gonna have to hear that, but to be honest, to be real, I've never lost. Lounge High, since I've been in high school, has never lost a game to a Florida team.
Oh, wow.
Ever. And we play Florida teams year in or year out. And I mean, to go out, I think we got Lake Gibson this year too with Sam McCall and another 4-star corner, I think. But yeah, we played Northwestern my sophomore year, and we murdered. Brinson scored every touchdown for his team, though. I give him that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we murdered them. Yeah, and I think we played Oakley last year. We beat them. I think my freshman year we played like Lincoln. Lincoln, like it's like more Tallahassee type.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah, we played Chaminade too. Yeah, we played Chaminade like the same year we played Northwestern.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Two state championships. Yeah. There shouldn't be no argument here.
Jacurri, I'm kind of curious. How big of an arm do you have? What kind of range are you comfortable throwing in?
Like length?
Yeah.
I could probably flick it probably 70 yards. I probably flick it like 70 yards. Like on the run, I'm watching it, but just like just stepping back, flicking, I'm probably like 70. Especially, I feel like in a game, your adrenaline's pumping, that like you could probably launch it like really far. But yeah, I'm probably throwing about 70 yards for sure.
Who do you play 7-on-7 football for? And have you played with any other Canes targets in 7-on-7?
I play for Doma. And yeah, I played with Bond Isaiah. He's coming on that visit at the same time I'm going, so hey, we got some hope. But played with Bond. I played with Quan Lee, and that's probably about it. I mean, there's some guys that are like that are older than me that were like Kane targets. And some guys that are like a little younger than me, like that Domo team is really stacked with like a lot of young talent. But yeah, that's probably about the two guys I played with before.
How is that quarterback to wide receiver relationship with Quan Lee, and what kind of wide receiver is Miami bringing to this recruiting class for the fans listening?
I can say like during that whole weekend, because we scored a lot that whole weekend.
Yeah,
I never overthrew him.
really.
I never overthrew him. It was just like I would throw it and throw as far as I can, like throw as far as you can, and he just run up under it. It's like you ever seen that video of that guy throwing the football and then going to go catch it, like both. Yeah, it's like that. Corn be moving. It was crazy. It's just like he'll be like talking junk like mid play and then catch the ball and then just like I just did that. So I mean that like that relationship is like really really good because like we're both dogs. Like we both want to eat and we both want to get better each day. And like another guy that's like that is Gibson. I've become really close with him. And he's another dog that's like that guy for his team. I mean, this guy went 12 receptions for 150 yards in his spring game. Like where they do that at? Like you got to be that guy for the team. You got to be begging for the ball. And I mean, I like that. I like a guy that's just gonna step out and be that guy on like oh snap, okay. Like and like he's a looker too. I look up to him. Like if I'm like when him talk face to face, like I'm looking up to him. He's pretty tall.
Ross, you got anything else for Jacurri? Because I know he's got 5 minutes left with us, and then he's got to head out.
I have a specific question for you here, Jacurri, and it has to do with a guy that you just brought up, Isaiah Bond. It is well known that you guys are good buddies. What does Miami got to do to get Bond to flip? What do we got to do to put in work?
I really just feel like his parents haven't been down. You know what I mean? So like on that visit, like it's really just how we like go about it, like talking to his mom and stuff like that. I mean, Bond's a good guy, and I mean that his decision. Don't get me wrong, like he deserves everything, and like that's a good decision for him. I feel like that's a good place and a good fit, but like there's always better. You know what I mean? And we know who's better. So I mean, just looking at that whole situation and just really just applying pressure. Kind of just going strategically, like making that relationship with his mom, and like I said, like relationships are big for me, and I mean, especially and most likely, for sure for Bond for sure. So I mean, his mom just never like been down. Like Bond, that was Bond's first time going down when I went with him a week before I committed. So I mean, his parents has never been down in Miami. So like, it's gonna be a good time for sure.
All right. Well, Jacurri, it was a pleasure to have you on, man. I love you, man, as a player and as a person off the field. The first time interacting with you, you're a great kid. I know you're going to do great things at the University of Miami and as a human being,
Sure.
Whether even if you're not playing football anymore at any level or just, in the regular world, man, you're going to do great things, Jacurri. So it was really a pleasure to have you on, man. We're rooting for you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Absolutely, Jacurri. Thank you so much again, man. Take care. All right, everyone. Jacurri Brown, the lone quarterback commit for the class of 2022 for the Miami Hurricanes. Man, hell of a player. He's a great athlete. This is someone who I think is going to be a Power 5 starter at the next level. He should excel in a heavy RPO offense with Rhett Lashley that he runs. Ross, kind of break down Jacurri Brown as a quarterback once again before we get our next guest on the show.
Like I spoke to you earlier about, I mean, the ultimate dual threat quarterback with that kind of leg talent. I mean, it's just nothing but exciting play after exciting play when you watch his film. Yes, Jacurri does need to work on his arm talent a little bit. There's some touch things, especially touch passes that he really needs to work on. He's clearly got the arm strength, like he said to us. He's throwing the ball 70 yards and possibly more when the adrenaline's pumping when he's rolling out of the pocket. So he's clearly got the arm strength. It's just about that fine tuning with him. It's about getting that touch, and it's about getting those little things down. He offers everything else already, and we have got ourselves one hell of a QB commit, man.
Absolutely. Well, Ross, is our next guest ready to go, or we need some more time?
I let him know.
All right. We're waiting for our next guest to come on. In the meantime, let's talk about Quan Lee's latest commitment that has joined the class of 2022. Like Jacurri Brown, we just had him on our show. We asked him, how is that relationship? They both played 7-on-7 together. He said, I didn't overthrow one pass from him. He would get up and get every single pass. It was like that guy in that video. He'd throw like a 50-yard bomb, and he'd go out and run it and catch it himself. It was like playing pitch and catch. So developing a good relationship with a quarterback is very essential in any football team. You need to have that good relationship with your quarterback and the wide receiver core.
And it's not often that you get a chance to have recruits that have that connection. A lot of these guys don't play with each other. They might do some camps here and there and stuff like that, but to actually run some plays on a 7-on-7 format, that's where familiarity can really start to come around. That's where the bonds and the connections can really start to be formed. Yeah, you like to see it while they're in pads, of course, but the 7-on-7 is the next best step for developing that.
By the way, guys, Randy had asked any recruiting news. Just heads up, 24/7 Sports released an article. Andrew Ivan stated that Omar Graham Jr., one of the top linebackers, in my opinion, in South Florida. I think he's a very physical, aggressive, and vicious linebacker, specifically out on the edge. He is looking at Penn State and Florida State. He stated in an interview after his high school football game, I believe his spring football game, my apologies, this past, I think was it yesterday at his game or a couple days ago? He is looking at Florida State and Penn State as his favorites right now. Ross, we did interview Omar Graham Jr. during his time. What was kind of the vibe you got with his relationship with Miami? Because I know that's someone you have a close relationship with.
Yeah, I mean, the news that came out today, I was a little surprised at how it was worded, honestly. I'm not 100% sure if what Omar was saying, that those are his top two schools. I feel like what he was kind of more saying is those are the two that have come on lately and have kind of impressed him lately. I don't think in any shape or form is Miami out of this. I believe we're right in this mix no matter what. And I'm pretty sure Omar would say the same thing if you asked him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's still strongly considering Miami. I mean, Omar, I feel like he's the type of player who still, recruit in general, who hasn't made up his mind yet, and he's just juggling things. I mean, he's a young high school kid. He's probably 17, 18 years old, maybe even 16, probably has no idea where he wants to attend. And I think Miami, Florida State, and Penn State are probably in his top three, and I think he likes all three programs right now. Any other linebackers you think would fit well in this 4-2-5 scheme or a 4-3 scheme that we may be potentially running under Coach Manny Diaz's new tenure as defensive coordinator and head coach?
Well, Omar and Wesley are the two that stand out immediately.
I think those are the priorities.
Yeah, definitely. No doubt about it. A guy that we've talked about him recently here, Kobe McLeod, is going to be visiting the university. Right. He's a 3-star linebacker out of Tampa. He offers that new age sideline to sideline type of speed that we want. We have to adapt, dude. We have to get into this new era of taking care of the spread offenses, basically getting our linebackers and our secondary ready to go against these offenses that we're going to see on a weekly basis. We've kind of been a little old school in our approach at linebacker, but at least we're seeing the offers start to show that we're ready to make that change and ready to come into the new age.
Absolutely. And Ross, a big conversation that's been going on within the Canes community is where do you think we will finish with this recruiting class? First off, we're a very long way from early signing day, which is, I mean, it's predicated as the new national signing day. Let's be real. It's treated like that. But we're a very long way till the recruiting cycle for the class of 2022 is completed. But I will say this, Miami can heat up tremendously. They can heat up. And, we only have 2 commits right now. We're ranked 60th in the nation, but we can put in a nice class. A top 10 recruiting class is very difficult. I hope people understand that. Like, it's not easy to reel in a top 10 class. You really need to, it's not easy what Randy Shannon or Mark Rick did during their time here at Miami. So just don't be surprised if we don't finish in the top 10. It's not the end of the world. I think it would be great if we finished in the top 20, top 15. It's just my opinion. But a top 10 staff is very difficult to get. What do you think, Ross? Where do you think we need to finish in order to finish on a very successful class for the class of 2022?
Paul, the way I see 2022, and especially when you compare it to 2023, which is, the next year coming, this South Florida talent isn't plentiful in 2022. The fence we like to put around and call our recruiting area, it just simply isn't loaded with talent this year. So it's why I'm hesitant to talk about top 10 classes and possibly even a little bit under top 15. What I think that this class can be for us, Paul, is I think we can start to finally plug guys in and find guys who play certain roles. We don't need to go, head over heels for elite guys. The 2023 class is going to offer that top to bottom defense and offense. It's absolutely loaded.
Nation is one name. Class of 2023 who we think is going to be a star at the next level.
Yeah, absolutely loaded. So with this South Florida talent being a little down this year and, with the idea of, hey, maybe instead of, having to go get this big 4-star or 5-star, we find a 6'5" receiver that we can plug in where we don't have that height or length. I think this is the class to try to do that at, Paul. I really do. And then in 2023, we really hit it hard and we look for that elite talent.
Look, Shamar Stewart, Kenyatta Jackson, both are going to be great players at the next level. Julian Armea, I don't know. I don't know if they'll be Miami Hurricanes. I think it's going to be a tough battle. I think it's a stretch right now. But those are 3 players that I would love in this recruiting class for class of 2022. That would give us that huge bump for a top 10 finish. I'll tell you what, Jacoby Spells at American Heritage Plantation, that's someone that we must get. That is a huge priority right now for this class. Earl Little Jr., Ross, I think you and me are on the same page with Earl Little Jr. I think he's going to go to Alabama. And I think what could change a lot is our first game of the season with Earl Little Jr. That could, make some noise and be like, hey, let's say we beat Alabama. Let's say we're in a shootout. Maybe that changes his mindset a little bit, with the class.
Yeah, I think it would take something like that to impress Earl Little, regardless of what else is being said or what rumors there are. Like you said, Paul, we're the same mindset that, it's an SEC school that's ultimately going to get Little. Spells is a guy that I'm totally on board with, and I completely agree with you. He's a guy that we truly have to prioritize. He is actually a special player who's flying under the radar. We can't lose a battle to West Virginia to get a player like him. We just simply can't do that. We brought T-Rob in. Yeah, this is why we brought T-Rob in, to find the right talent and to land the right talent. That's why we want him in here at our school, and that's why we got him. A guy like Kamari Rogers, that's my guy. That is my guy in this class. Absolutely love him, and I really hope we're making some positive strides with him.
Kamari Rogers, Jordan Allen, Jacoby Spells, Travell Mullen. Those are 4 names to look out for. Also, Chris Graves out of Bishop Vero High School, Fort Myers, Florida. He got the crisp ball in by 24/7 Sports, head in the direction of Miami. I think that will be an easy and nice pickup for this staff. One name on the offensive line that's been heating up lately, Daughtry Richardson out of Miami Central Senior High School. We cannot miss out on him. Local offensive lineman. I know Florida State's making a lot of noise with him. That's a huge addition if we do pick him up. We need to develop that offensive line unit. Remember, that second team offensive line, we still don't have an identity. I don't think we have the right personnel yet. We have to develop that depth for our second team offensive line. Bringing in Daughtry Richardson is just adding more weight to our second team and finally developing a second team with depth. And we just got the UNLV offensive lineman as well, Justice Oluwasian. So what do you think, Daughtry Richardson? He's going to be a Cane or what? He could be the next commit.
I'm feeling good about it, Paul. I really am. I don't like to go overboard with too much of this stuff, but I'm feeling really good about Daughtry Richardson, and everything I have read about him and everything that players that play with him have said is he is the guy. He is the man on the offensive line. He is that trench bully. He's the guy that we really need to bring in. And this is the kind of player in this class that I'm talking about. While it might not necessarily be the flashy 4-star, 5-star big name guy, guys like Daughtry Richardson will come in and be important pieces for the future of this team, I believe. I think we're in a good spot. I really do.
Speaking of offensive personnel, do not be surprised. I'm not expecting us to take a running back, first of all. Do not be surprised if we don't take a wide receiver from Miami, specifically from Miami Palmetto Senior High School, Mike Jackson. Okay, don't be surprised if the staff doesn't view him as a take. I think they're going after North Florida wide receivers. Jaden Gibson, he's 6'4". He's a very projectile. He's raw talent. Seems like Jacurri Brown loves him as a wide receiver. Look out for him. So don't be surprised, guys, if we move away from, the South Florida area. We focus on North Florida, South Georgia, like Jacurri Brown stated recently. There's not a lot of action in that area. You have to make a lot of noise. Once you go past Atlanta, there's not a lot of recruiting battles in South Georgia. So I thought that was very interesting. And look, Jaden Gibson is 6'6". I thought he was 6'4". That's the Calvin Johnson numbers right there. You can't teach height. And with his skill set, I think it's a project, but he can be very elite if you develop him. And Rob Likens, I think he does a very nice job identifying talent. Ross, anything else you want to add for the class of 2022 before we wrap this show up?
While we're just talking about these wide receiver options and specifically guys with height and length, I want Canes fans to take a look at two guys that we've made some offers to that are getting a little buzz recently. There's Sean Wilson, and actually a guy that we haven't made an offer to yet, but there's some buzz about it, is Chance Morrow out of North Carolina. These are two 6'5" plus players. Chance Morrow specifically is a dual sport athlete, hops in basketball. Yeah, he displays that on the football field. He's got that length. So we have got options outside of a guy like Gibson. If we don't land Gibson, it's not the end of the world. You can get guys with height and length elsewhere, and we're making those offers. So I'm glad to see the staff is wanting to reach out a little bit for, plan B options.
Absolutely. And I like how we are identifying taller wide receivers. We've been missing kind of that deep ball threat, that end zone threat where we can win off of jump balls. And I feel like we were perhaps maybe it wasn't part of our game at all. And you can't really try. I don't like having, unless it's a very athletic tight end that's very athletic, okay, and it's a complete mismatch, then I can see jump ball situations utilizing Will Mallory, for example, which we don't at all, but we're missing a deep ball threat. We're missing that red zone threat to win those jump balls, and I think I appreciate that we're going after very tall wide receivers that can potentially come out and be very elite wide receivers with their skill sets and win those one-on-one battles or those jump ball situations, something that's been completely out of our offensive game plan.
Height and speed, Paul, that's what we're really identifying right now. And that's where we can find those guys without having, I'm going back to it again, sorry, but the elite big name 4-star, 5-star guys, you can find height and speed in that 3-star, mid 4-star range. You can find that all day if you do it right. It's all about finding the right guys. That's what it's all about this year in 2022 for me.
Absolutely. And I appreciate over 70 people joining us on the fly. We didn't even announce this show. All right. We literally said, hey, Jacurri, do you want to come on with us? We're doing a show, recruiting show. He's like, yeah, sure, I'm down. Hey, I appreciate everyone taking time out of their evening on a Friday night to come check us out, talk a little bit of recruiting. Just want to thank everyone once again. And always all about the U guys. Go Canes.